And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, the final day of the OSC Season 12 Championship. Oh boy, it's been a long month here, a long February, a long January as well, but we've made it to the finale of the OSC Season 12. Let's go. I'm of course your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. This is an event that's been running all month, even more than that actually. It's been a massive bracket, 32 players, double elimination, and all the matches have been casted, have been covered, and now we have reached our top 6, I believe. Reached our final echelon of the bracket. Let's go. Switching our scenes over, let's catch up on what has been going on. Again, if you missed out on some of the previous days, I do recommend the VODs. Again, we have casted every single match in the tournament, upper and lower brackets, and now we are here to wrap up and to conclude. We were going to do this a couple of days ago on the 28th of February, but otherwise it was an intense day and there was a lot of casting going on, and I just didn't have the energy to keep going and to be able to kind of give the justice to the final day as best I could. So now we have been able to come back, and now we're here. We are here. We have our final day. Going over kind of the previous results very quickly here, we had the upper bracket. The upper bracket did conclude. We had MaxPax taking down Hero, taking down ByuN. MaxPax did fall to Clem in the upper bracket. Did fall to Clem. Likewise, Clem took down Geralt Dark, and Clem is waiting in the grand finals. Clem is lying in wait in that final series, and we are here to determine who will face off against Clem in that final match. Oh boy, we're here to determine. You can see here the lower bracket. Up first here tonight, we have Dark versus Hero, followed by ByuN versus SKillous. Winners are going to be facing off against each other. Then we have MaxPax waiting in the lower bracket finals, and then we have Clem waiting for the winner of that series in the grand finals. Actually, can I move that over a little bit? There we go. It's just such a big bracket. I can't fit everything. But you can see Clem there at the very end, waiting for the winner in those finals, in those grand finals here. So we have quite a number of matches ahead of us here, and we kick things off initially with ByuN versus SKillous. Let's go. We have our TvP. As a reminder, these are going to be all best of 5s, except for the finals. Finals, I believe, is going to be best of 7. So we have plenty of games leading up into said finals. Hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Again, we just wrapped up last night with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And of course, tonight is going to be the Wardy TV Monday. So 2 casts a day today. I was referring to our schedule yesterday, and our schedule should be a little bit leaner coming into March. I'm looking forward to it. We've been casting twice a day, almost every single day, like every day for the past since the start of the year, or really since like what, November, October of last year. But things should be slowing down a little bit coming into March. When I say slowing down, like 1 cast a day sort of thing, like 1 cast a day, which I'm more than happy to embrace. Does give us more time to stream, to ladder, and to get some proper sleep as well. Sleeping for 8 hours a day, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. Oh my god, we're almost there. We are almost there. Likewise, something else coming into March is the Stars Agora qualifiers, and we might be a part of that. Still trying to get in touch with the organizers of the Bellum Gen Stars Agora, and we might be getting involved. Otherwise, for now, we're here to wrap up the OSC Season 12 Championship, and here we go. We have our first series, we have our first game. We're jumping into Frostline. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, shout out to all those in the chat. I see Psycons, I see BBQ, I see Eva as well. Bienvenidos, Death Dealer, Mr. Minsler. Welcome. Bienvenidos as we are jumping in and spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline. We have our red Protoss player, red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing Shellfire Rebellion from South Korea. It is ByuN. Jumping to our first best of 5 of the night, and this is going to be a rematch. Actually, ByuN and SKillous, they've been playing very often as of late. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I guess I do. They've both been very active in online tournaments. They've both been playing against each other quite often as a result. I'm referring to last week's Sparkling Tuna Cup finals, where they faced off in a best of 5, and ByuN did defeat SKillous 3-0. Now, one of the reasons for that as well, just to be transparent, is that SKillous, he was otherwise playing into two events. He was really stressed out. As I do have to get rid of the tuna. My apologies. That was from last night's broadcast. But we had SKillous. He was actually playing in Sparkling Tuna Cup, and like in 30 minutes, he had to play in the Water TV February against Clem. So SKillous is just really stressed out about playing in both events and about, you know, potentially forfeiting and having to play the other event, and there was a lot going on there, and did self-admit that he was he was not at his best, at least mental state, against ByuN last time. We'll see how they compare this time. So far, we do have an economic open out of ByuN, going for a single gas. Again, this makes plenty of sense on Frostline. Frostline is one of the larger maps. Is one of the larger maps in the map pool, does kill the probe, and does get the expansion on location. So a nice economic start here by ByuN. Meanwhile, SKillous going for a standard opener as well. So nothing too crazy, nothing too wild early on. When it comes to the map itself, the map is known for aggression in the mid-game. What I mean by that, initially long rushes and spike ground, that is true, but the third and fourth bases are very exposed. Very exposed here. Very difficult to defend coming into a longer and later game, just because of how open the third and fourth base are. Comparing these locations to any other map, and they're typically a little bit more isolated, a little bit more confined. Usually there's more of a choke point here to push into, usually closer to the natural as well. Here they're very spread out, very isolated, very exposed, and it can be quite difficult here to be the defending player. Meanwhile, ByuN already popping off. Hello. Let's go. We open up with Concussive Shell. Bold move. So ideally the goal here, as a reminder, okay, a couple things. ByuN, he went for an economic opener. He went for a CC on the low ground, and it is not uncommon for the Protoss player to open a depth and to rush across the map and try and delay the CC. Unfortunately for ByuN, Stalker first. Stalker first, more of a defensive start here by SKillous. ByuN was hoping to catch an adept, to catch an early unit here, a gateway unit across the map. That is not happening. That is not happening. SKillous is being more defensive, and as a result of the initial Marauders, they don't really catch anything back at home, but we have to make use of this army in some way when moving out. Marauders are pushing. Behind this, going forward, that is a second Rax before Starport. So, yeah, as we have quite an aggressive build here, delayed Starport out of ByuN, this could turn into a 2-base all-in. If so, though, we would have seen a third Rax. So, an aggressive build nonetheless here from ByuN. Basically with this build, he is going to be prioritizing rushing to stim. It's a 2-on-1 early stim timing here by ByuN. Marauders are waddling in. No shield battery. First adept is going to get caught out regardless. Yeah, it does take a lot of hits, and getting Concussive Shell locking it down, and the first adept is going to fall. Massive pickoff already. Stalker has to retreat. Void's being pulled away. Up. Oh my god, takes out the Reaper. Does take down the Reaper. Voids are being pulled, but last good target firing here out of ByuN, and he will get the Stalker. One more volley, does get it. Stalker goes down. So far, 3 probe kills. It's going to be cleaned up, but not a bad trade for 2 Marauders. He gets 1 Stalker, 1 Adept, and 4 probes. 4 workers go down. Back at home, we spoke about the 2-on-1, as you mentioned, early stim. Early Concussive Shell into early stim timing here from ByuN. So very early stim timing setup here from our Terran. And ByuN is going to be the aggressor. SKillous, though, he's going to move out ahead of time. Back at home, how many gates? 2 in the main, and we have 1 here at the natural 3-gate blink. In total, SKillous, he can try to punish ByuN, bearing in mind that stim is not done yet. Oh my god, does blink forward and gets punished for it. 2 Stalkers go down, rough start. Oh no, not again. Oh my god. As another mine shot is going to go off, takes down another Stalker. 3 Stalkers going down, and ByuN will save every single Widow mine. Ay. Does barely boost away in time. And with that, SKillous is being shut down. That was brutal, losing 3 Stalkers already. Down to 2, he's trying to counterattack. Back at home, alas, ByuN, he is looking solid. SKillous reinforcing, does go for another warp in. Blinks into the main base, that's a kill on the depot. That's something. Boys are being pulled. The target firing here, SKillous does get one of the Marauders. He gets 1. Up. He wants the other, barely does get it. Whew, blinks away just in time. And with that skills, he will be able to juggle away. Does lift, does fairy. Oh my god, and barely doesn't lose a single stalker. Okay. Not bad. 8 SCV kills, 2 marauders, 1 marine for 0 losses. Very nice trade. At the same time, though, mind dribble across the map, only gets 2 probes. Oh, spoke too soon. There we go, 3 workers going down. Widow mines are finally going to be cleaned up. SKillous, he did react here to the drop. And SKillous does defend. So he is recovering. It was a rough start for SKillous, but he is recovering here, trading very efficiently. Stalkers are low as a result, so they are vulnerable. Oh. Does pull away. That's a greater concave. And he can pick away the marines at least. He's going to start losing stalkers though. Yeah, 1 stalker goes down. Has to respect the army. Additional gateways on the way. Skills behind this going into +1, going to charge. Skills is going for what's quite common in this matchup nowadays, and that is to delay splash damage. You delay your storm, you delay your colossus in favor of charge loss, in favor of this swarm toss style of mass gateway army. That is at least the plan here for SKillous. It also means that if ByuN were to push, if you were to move out early on, then SKillous he'd be ready with a mass wave of zealots to defend. Which is going to be ideal. Yeah, he does stim across. Does catch a stalker. As he moves out, Prism is getting ready to dive in. ByuN does finally get his 3rd CC. It's on location. Does get spotted. Oh. SKillous does pull away. He pulls back. ByuN pushing forward. We should be seeing zealot reinforcements here for SKillous. They're going to be with the main army. The mines that will attempt to zone away. Mines just going up. The slow lot's going to be engaging. Charge is now finishing up. But a little bit too late. Zealots are going to be going down. Likewise, Robo gets depowered. No Robo, no Immortal. Bust into the middle line. Probe's going to be falling. This is getting a little bit out of hand. So warping towards the end. And with this, we should be able to hold on, but without losing 7 probes. 7 workers go down. ByuN, he does pull out. Does get the hell out of there. And with that, pretty good damage. That doesn't just delay the Immortal, it delays the Colossus, as the Bay is still in the way. Will slow SKillous down. Likewise, SKillous does confirm that there is a 3rd CC. SKillous even, I believe, canceling? Yeah, it does cancel the Immortal. Starts up the Colossus. Mind jumps outside. Zealot runway does hit the mineral line, but last is shut down. And ByuN holds. ByuN does hold. Now, coming into this, I do favor ByuN's position a little bit more. SKillous should have a 4th base by now. Should have a 4th nexus. Sorry, 4th nexus. But the 4th has been delayed because of all the aggression. So he is being slowed down. ByuN gaining map control. Sims forward. Oh. Doesn't quite get that prism. Medevac goes down. Nice pickup. SKillous, can we hold on? He does have 1 Colossus. Has a Colossus just in time. Oh, might just going up. No range connections. That's a lot of mines. Jesus. It's a lot of mines. Gonna get baited. And SKillous holds. Again, 1 Colossus. With that, able to hold on to the 3rd base. Does survive. Medevac goes down. SKillous gaining map control. Now arriving with a 2nd Colossus. As I'll say, charge in. ByuN in a bit of trouble here. He has no backbone to the army, no tanks, no widow mines. Just Marine Marauder. Really, just mainly Marauder. It's a very Marauder heavy composition. It's very robust as a result. He can tank some storms, he can tank some Colossus wipes. It's a very tanky army. As he does move in. And 1 Colossus is not going to be good enough here. Takes a lot of hits. Zelts go down. SKillous, he's in trouble. He has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. And thankfully, SKillous, he mainly only lost Zealots here. Mainly Zealots. Boys were pulled earlier. 8 SCVs went down. Decent damage. And SKillous, what does he need against this heavy Marauder army? Disruptors. Disruptors are on the way. I mean, there are two different alternative routes. You can go Mass Disruptor, you can go Mass Immortal. We have seen Max play around with that style against a heavy Marauder composition. But it can be difficult to pull off. So far, SKillous does maintain himself. Another kind of style you can go for here is you can build up towards 4 and even 5 Colossus. Just because with the higher Colossus count, you can actually deal damage. You can actually work through those Marauders. But if the Viking count is too high, that's where it's less wise to commit into additional Colossi. So far, Viking count is at 6. And we're not getting any higher. Okay, there we go. We have 2 more. We have more Viking production on the way. Is underway. Disruptor's moving in. At the same time, Zealots, they do hit the Planetary. Planetary's not done. Nova's going up. No major connections. And the first Disruptor does go down. ByuN trying to catch out the army here. Oh. Yeah, it does corner the Protoss. The Colossus is going to be going down. SKillous, he should not have been here. He overextends. He will lose almost everything. The Disruptors, the Colossi. Zealots, they come in, they get a couple of SCV kills. That was a brutal loss here for SKillous. Again, did push too far forward. He distracts the main army, gets into the mineral line, getting more SCVs. More SCVs are falling. Decent Nova. SKillous taking a 5th base. I mean, you can see once again how exposed and how isolated these bases are. Now, thankfully, SKillous has maintained map control. Like, ByuN, outside of that initial move out, has been stuck at home. He's been stuck back at home. But the moment he does gain map control, SKillous is going to be in trouble. He is relentless. Going for another run by. It's going to be cleaned up. It goes off. No major connection. Oh, not bad towards the end. Takes down the Marauders. Marauders go down. SKillous buying more time. He just maintains his position. Just constantly reinforcing. Just making sure that he does not let up. He doesn't let ByuN push across the map. So far, so good. I mean, he did lose all of his Colossus earlier. Once again, ByuN coming in for a flank. Oh! Does pull away. Ghost goes down. An awkward fight here for SKillous. Will we get some decent connections? Marines, Marauders, takes them over to the face. SKillous pulls away. Doesn't lose too much. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Zealot Warpins, they continue. Once again into the mineral line. Oh. Once again popping up. Another Warpin into the main. Prism finally goes down. Oh my god. Very scrappy game state. But again, SKillous' economy has been untouched. This entire time he's been freely mining from a 5-base economy. Low gas count, that's why he's reinforced with mainly Zealots. Very Zealot heavy. SKillous is maintaining himself. Gets a Ghost. Oh my god. Takes out the Ghost, does connect with the Marauders. They can take a Nova to the face. But that is deterring ByuN. As we have how many? 7. 7 Disruptors for SKillous. That's a lot of Novas. That's a lot of balls. It's a lot. Up. Trying to catch up ByuN. ByuN does find the Observer. Does hold SKillous. ByuN, you can see he's slowly gaining map control. As he does, another massive run by. Heads towards the bases. SKillous in an awkward position. ByuN, he sims in. Does it forward. Forces out so many Novas. They connect. Oh my god. Splits are not there. Yeah, ByuN distracted Zealots. They hit the mineral line. SCVs are going down. GG gets called. ByuN gets torn apart. And SKillous takes game number 1. GG. GG well played. A very, very intense game there. Alas, SKillous, he was able to just keep up the pressure, keep going for those run buys time and time again, catching out to ByuN a little bit unawares, one time too many, and ByuN could just never be active, never be aggressive. That's where ByuN thrives. As we all know, ByuN, he's known for his drop play, known for his counterattacks, known for maintaining map control, not being a defending player. Like, he's not one to be turtling up back at home and walling up and being more defensive. That's just not ByuN, and he wasn't really able to gain map control. He wasn't able to be aggressive. Not at all. Not in game 1. Whew. Still close though. Still quite close. Regardless, GG well played. SKillous does take a lead, and now we are jumping into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. And this time I have gotten rid of the tuna. Aha. Tuna's gone. We go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. And again, welcome on all to Whispers of Gold. This is going to be a much smaller map, much smaller, much more aggressive as a result. It does not take long at all to go from one end to the map, one end of the map to the other. Doesn't take long. So this is where I'm going to be leaning more towards ByuN here. And we'll see how he does decide to open up. Maya's going to be on the Terran. We'll see how aggressive he's going to be. Now SKillous moving out. For his own scouts. Once again, 2 games in a row. It looks like an economic opener here by ByuN. He does not get the second gas geysers, so just a Rax expand from our Terran player. And I'm a little bit surprised. We're seeing this here on Whispers of Gold after Frostline. Looks like ByuN is looking to be more economic early on. We can see SKillous, he confirms. He does check the gases. SKillous wants to make sure there's no shenanigans afoot. And now he can focus on delaying the CC. So nice scout from SKillous. Is aware. Now he can feel comfortable. He can feel safe. I feel safe. From here we back off. We expect to see another Blink-based opener here out of SKillous. Twilight Council into 3 gateways. Again, just a very safe way to play things out on Whispers of Gold. It is very risky to try to go for something like a Stargate. Stargate play, I think we might see at some point in this series here from SKillous, but it does depend on the maps themselves. It does depend if we load into, you know, Gressvan or Romanticide, or some of these other larger maps like Abyssal Reef or Neon Violet Square. On these smaller maps, it's less viable, and there it is, at Twilight Council opener from SKillous. So far, so good. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's going for a more tech-heavy start. As a reminder, ByuN did have a unique build last game. He went for a 2-on-1, initially concussive shell timing into stim. Initially, ByuN was more active and more aggressive last game. This time, 1-on-1 into drop play. Most likely. We have our initial Hellion. From here, we can go for a tech lab into an add-on or start Widowmine production. Stalker pokes in, Blink is on the way. There's that first Widowmine, so it is going to be the mine drop opener. Now, this isn't really designed to get economic damage. This is designed to scout more than anything, assuming we only move out with the Widowmine. If ByuN moves out with his Widowmine and with the Marines, then different story. At that point, he would be looking for some probe kills. Elliot moves out, so it skirts around the edge. Boys to dive into the bases. Likewise, looks like we are going for a Widowmine and Marine drop. as Marine Hunt is building up, and we do head across the map. Now, ideally, the way that this drop works here is that the Widowmine zones away the Stalkers, and the Marines, they wreak havoc, and they just focus on the probes, bearing in mind that there is no stim, so this is a vanilla Marine drop timing. So the Marines themselves, they don't really pose too much of a threat to the army of SKillous, but against the workers, I mean, they can pop up. But SKillous, he barely does miss the drop. Busting into the main base, SKillous out of position, and workers are going to be going down. Oof, gets one so far. Has to pull away. Mines are set. Pylon going to be targeted down. Doesn't want to waste the mine shot. Oh, spent here on the probe. And mine shot gets spent, and with that SKillous, he can now resaturate. Can go back in, can resaturate. SKillous, he does hold. Only loses 2 workers, and back at home we see ByuN getting into his own 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport, tank production underway, bunkers as well. ByuN basically is getting ready here for the Stalker counterattack. Assuming that there is one. Yeah, 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink, prisms on the way, SKillous will soon move out across the map, and ByuN is getting ready. Now you could argue that maybe stim is exposed. For the most part, the tank should be covering stim though. Should be protected. Drop comes back in, soldiers in position. Likewise, SKillous does get behind the mineral line. And does get some SCVs. Tank is out of position. Bunker was not ready. And so far we get 7 SCV kills. Very nice damage. Again, this shouldn't happen. Ooh, does wing away. 8 workers. Meanwhile, back across the map, not a single probe goes down. Sorry, I should say 1 probe goes down. So very nice trade. SKillous does take the better end of it. Leading out 3 Stalkers for what? For 9 SCVs, 8 Marines, up medevac. And now it's time to go into the main. Now there is a tank. Oh my god. Dives in anyway. It does commit. Has to respect the tank though. Yeah. Does pull away. SKillous wasn't fully aware. SKillous, he rotates over. Second tank has arrived. We have 1 tank here in the mineral line, the other in the main. Oh, does blink in. Takes down the bunker. Ooh, leaves out 2 Stalkers. A bit of miscontrol there from SKillous. Wasn't able to lift in time. Was a back and forth trade. But what's important, even though that was a worse trade for SKillous, is that he is still keeping ByuN contained. After losing the bunker, ByuN, he's that much more threatened, so he's stuck at home. Stim is done. Meanwhile, SKillous, he gets his 3rd base up and running. Once again, he stays on a low gas count, only 3 gases. This is because he is delaying his Colossus production and going into charge. So massive gateway explosion. We have 8 gates on the way. Or 5 on the way, 8 in total. +1, charge. And once SKillous is secure, then he can take his gases and start working towards Colossus. Meanwhile, Raven tries across the map, not bad. Gets 5 probes. Ooh. Did I say 5? Getting up to 6, getting almost 7. ByuN breaks out. I believe SKillous does not have an observer. Yeah, the observer's not fully in position. In between the bases. SKillous is not fully ready for this. There's 1 shield battery in the back line. ByuN moving in. Barely spotted. Now he knows. Now he's aware. Mine shot's going up. Blue mines connect, bit of friendly fire. Likewise, Raven back into the main. Stalker comes in from behind, does distract, not bad. Yeah, tank is going to go down. Nice pickup, and with that, SKillous he's holding. Does hold on. Again, did distract and did tank some of those tank shots. Can't fully chase this though. Then he holds the ramp. Does hold the ramp, 3rd CC almost done. We spoke earlier, but now that SKillous is secure, it's time for the Colossus. Bay is done, getting to +2, getting to Colossus production. SKillous, he is getting there. As he's splitting up his forces. Now, this can be dangerous. Basically, SKillous is getting ready for a tri-pronged attack. We have a Zealot run by on the right, we have a Zealot drop into the main, and the main army does get distracted by those Stalkers. And he does get into the mineral lines. SCVs are going to be going down. And ByuN, oh, he's pushing. That's what I was worried about. Oof. So the lines are connecting. ByuN commits across the map. Zealots are getting a lot of economic damage, but back at home, does SKillous have enough to defend? As these Zealots, they're wreaking havoc. They're forcing the all-in. 23, 24 CV kills. That's everything. ByuN is being crippled. Does send forward. Shield barrier's not ready. Decent force fields. But SKillous, he has forced the all-in. Has to reinforce. Pulling away. Getting across the map, denying the third. Getting 30 SCV kills. Colossus has arrived. And with the help of the Colossus, yeah, we should be fine. We should be okay. Tank goes down. Brutal mine shots, though. Brutal with mine connections. Zealots are just now being cleaned up in the main. But SKillous holds. I say that he does overextend for a moment. Risky moving out with the Colossus like this, but he has plenty of Zealots. Yeah, he's okay. Warping complete. And ByuN is in a rough position here. He can't just go back home. He's overstemmed, bleeds out more Marauders, more Marines. And SKillous, he has momentum. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall. ByuN could not hold, and SKillous takes a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. SKillous. GG, well played. Zealots take a lead here again. SKillous, it was quite risky going for those Zealot counterattacks, those Zealot run-bys. Up until that point, ByuN, he was holding his own. He had longevity in that game. He was getting his third base up and running. But alas, he made the decision. Basically, when the Zealots hit the mineral line, when they got into the main base, ByuN, he chose not to turn around, not to defend. He chose to commit across the map. And in the end, SKillous, he barely had enough to hold on. He was able to deflect the army. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he chose to commit to the all-in. And with that, ByuN is one game away from losing the series. Oh boy. He has to begin the comeback here and now as we load into El Dorado. Here we go. Loading into game number 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-0, one game away from claiming the series. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. ByuN isn't himself these days. I don't think that's quite fair. ByuN is still, I would say, is he the most active Korean Terran? I think he is. I think he's close with Cure, because Cure is also quite active as well, but ByuN, he plays in a lot of tournaments. He plays in a lot of open cups as well. I would say that ByuN is very much so in form. And I was trying to emphasize previously that, again, if you were here last week, ByuN did 3-0 SKillous. He did 3-0 SKillous. That was in last week's Sparkling Tuna Cup. I was trying to emphasize that these two have been playing a lot recently. So ByuN, he 3-0 SKillous during STC. Meanwhile, SKillous did defeat ByuN during SEL. If you're watching over the weekend, they did play during StarCraft Evolution, and now they're here in OSC. They just keep playing. And when it comes to the game so far, unfortunately, I mean, especially when it comes to Whispers of Gold, I do agree that the beginning of the game was a little bit slower for ByuN, which is maybe a little bit more unexpected. But yeah, despite that, SKillous, he was all over him. He was able to catch him out with those counterattacks, which we have seen has been the failing of ByuN from time to time. I say the failing of ByuN. What a lot of Terran players can struggle with, like Zealots, they overwhelm so fast and so quickly. Like, Zealot run-bys are brutal here, not just in this matchup, but in most matchups. And yeah, that, I mean, again, ByuN, he did make that decision. Did decide to push, to commit, to move out, to be aggressive, and that's ByuN. I mean, if you want a more defensive player, then I mean that's where you have some of these other players like Spirit, I guess, or Piotr, Kior as well. From here, though, we're getting into our next game. We do have this time, for the first time this series, actually, Double Gas. Now, this is what we expected last game on Whispers of Gold. Double Gas is a more aggressive start. It leads into a faster factory. It leads into a faster starport as a result. ByuN is expanding, don't get me wrong, but he will be able to get faster tech. Meanwhile, SKillous for the first time this series, Stargate. So suddenly a lot becomes available here. A lot does open up to us. And we'll see if ByuN can scout, more importantly. If ByuN can get a read on what's happening, he's moving out with his Reapers. If he does scout, if he does confirm the Stargate, he can punish this quite hard. We can see an earlier Tech Lab into Cyclone, into an early move out across the map. But until then, ByuN has yet to confirm, does dive into the main, and ByuN, he will scout the Tech. And now he does get eyes on that Tech Lab, or on that Stargate, was I meant to say. Is where the Stargate does pull back. ByuN behind this, he was already going, there we go. He was actually making a Widow Mine. He cancels the Widow Mine, and here comes that Tech Lab. Now, this is a later response here by ByuN. Ideally, he would have liked this Tech Lab a little bit earlier for the add-on swap, or to get into the earlier Cyclone. So, unfortunately, a later response here, as it was a later scout. Plus into the mineral line. Gets one, gets two probes. Doesn't get much more than that. From here, SKillous does defend, he does hold, and here comes the push. Now, it is going to be a Cyclone first. We did see the medevac on the way for a moment, but we do cancel. And the problem here is that this response is delayed for ByuN. Yeah, and he's going for the Viking. So a medevac, he's a little bit indecisive here. I was going to say a medevac response is to be more aggressive. Viking is more defensive. We see one, then we cancel, we go for the other. Now, a big reasoning for this indecisiveness is just a late scout as to what was happening. Remember, ByuN, he was opening Widow Mine, and then he had to hard switch into Cyclone, which means the Cyclones are late. They're late to begin with. So ByuN, he gambled with his opener, gambled poorly, so he had to kind of hard switch out of it. And he's getting ready for drop play. Now, it can be risky trying to get past these Phoenixes. Cyclones are revealed, and SKillous, he's on a timer here. He needs a little bit more time for that charge. Phoenixes are rotating. ByuN is pushing. As we mentioned before, Phoenix openers do leave you vulnerable, and Dark, he wants to try to take advantage. Sorry, ByuN wants to try to take advantage of that. Let's try to move in. Phoenixes, they can try to punish that third base. It's a very early third by ByuN. Very greedy. ByuN almost gets a Phoenix. Now, I do like this fast third base. Again, it's very greedy here by ByuN, but so far it's been unscouted. It is a risk, and a risk that ByuN is getting away with. As ByuN, he's not moving out. So maintaining map control, he will gain a better economy as a result. Likewise, SKillous going to charge our Archon, not into Phoenix Colossus. He's under no real danger, as you mentioned. ByuN, he was just doing this to pop off his chest to get a faster expansion, to get into a stronger mid game. And this means that SKillous, he gets away with the Stargate. Again, it can be quite difficult here in TvP to survive the early game with Stargate play, but SKillous does get away with it. Nation going to be confirming, gets eyes on all the bio. Gets eyes on the setup. SKillous now taking up in towards Storm, maintaining map control. Keeping tabs on ByuN. ByuN's the most active Korean. As I mentioned, just to emphasize, ByuN's the most active Korean Terran, is what I said. Terran player. I think I would say Hero is more, it does play in more tournaments than ByuN. But Hero, he's been an animal recently. Been an animal. I was comparing ByuN to like Gumiho, Maru, Cure, Bunny, Ryung. And it's been very active. Playing in a lot. Meanwhile, SKillous going for his own run by setup. Likewise, both players are building up, getting fully saturated. Ghost Academy is on the way to get into Ghost production. ByuN trying to catch out those Phoenixes. Up! Can't stim in. Does stim, doesn't quite get them, takes down the pylon. Pulls away as he stims out. Zelsa do hit the mineral line, but last are reinforcements, and ByuN he will defend. Does defend. Does shut down the charge lots. Likewise, Bay is now on the way, so skills building up towards Colossus. Again, ideally, you do want to diversify your splash damage. So there's got Storm into Colossi. Getting into a longer and later game. From here, SKillous should soon take a third. Sorry, should soon take a fourth base because of the fast third of ByuN. ByuN is in a better economic game state. This is the reason why ByuN has a much larger army right now, is because he got away with an insanely fast third. And SKillous, he is losing map control. So I'm a little bit concerned here for SKillous. He needs these storms to connect. As ByuN is now pushing. Getting a little bit choked. Oh no! ByuN! Getting a little bit choked up with the pathing. As ByuN, he will be delayed. The tank is just it's too thick, Bap. It's too thick. Oh no. What are you feeding your tanks? Oh, nice storms. Oh my god. Storms just shut down the Bayou. There we go. Does notice. Does rotate back around. Actually, sorry, response to the Zelarama even. Zell say distracted. They force back the army. SCVs are falling. Giving SKillous more time. Making 2 Colossus at a time here. Building back up. Nothing is moving out. Rico has to respect those storms. Storm does graze the army. Does land, taking out 2 of those marauders. Colossus are still on the way. SKillous needs a little bit more time. And they are arriving. Likewise, he has a massive amount of zealots pushing forward. Still has a full High Templar. Doesn't commit. Again, SKillous says nothing forcing him to engage. SKillous is all about buying time. It's all about buying time for more Colossi. Now he's up to 2. Soon he's going to be up to 4. Getting up to 4 Colossus. Oh, EMP goes up. High Templar barely pulls away. And does land the storm. But I believe that was the final storm for SKillous. And now we can stim in. Yeah, ByuN can stim. He can try to force his way off the ramp. But now he's up to 3 Colossus. Soon to be 4. Yeah, the 4th Colossus has arrived. SKillous is bought enough time. At the same time, Zelarama across the map does distract, keeping ByuN busy. SKillous is going for the main army. Once again, brutal EMP. The Colossus are so vulnerable. This is a big misstep here from SKillous. The Colossus are going down one after the other. Did not have to push out like that, and with that SKillous, he will lose everything. Gets 12 SCVs, but he lost his entire army. The Colossus, the High Templar, most of the Zealots. And SKillous, he has almost nothing left. Down to 1 Colossus. Again, he just got a little bit too excited. Didn't have to engage, didn't have to push out. As he just didn't really have enough to protect those Colossi. He had no buffer. And now ByuN is building out of control. It's getting out of hand, getting out of control here. Sims on forward. There's 1 Colossus left. There's no anti-air. The 1 Viking popping up. And GG gets called. ByuN, he will take the game and is looking to tie up the series. GG. GG, well played. Again, ByuN gets away with a fast third base, he gets away with a better economy, and we saw that reflected in the mid game with a massive army as well. And SKillous, he had to respect that he had to back off, he had to just take his time and build up his Colossus, build up his High Templar. Alas, SKillous, he did get a little bit antsy, did get too excited, he engaged ahead of time, and the fight did not go his way. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. ByuN does fight back. Here we go. ByuN does fight back. ByuN doesn't know if it's Colossus or Charge though. With the build of choice in that last game, it didn't really matter. Like, being aggressive against Charge can be really difficult and is not what you want. And it was a Charge-based follow-up, but ByuN was being more defensive and he was really just focusing on map control because of the fast third CC. So he got away with it. Did get away with it in the end. If it was a Colossus follow-up, I think ByuN would have been in a little bit more danger because we could have seen SKillous go for a faster, like, triple Colossus timing. But because SKillous went for Charge, that did benefit ByuN in the end. Did benefit ByuN, and here we go. We are now getting to our follow-up. We're now getting into game number 4, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 2-1, still needs one more game to close it out. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. He needs to do anything, let's waste his resources. Just to re-emphasize once again, ByuN was hyper greedy last game. Just to re-emphasize, ByuN went for a very fast third. That is why ByuN snowballed out of control. I would agree with the sentiment of the Phoenixes at least scouting the third. If you remember, they didn't. The Phoenixes, they were zoned back by the Cyclones in the center, and they tried to poke in towards the main base, but they weren't able to rotate towards the third. So in that sense, I would agree that unfortunately, because of the zoning, the Phoenixes never saw the timing of the third base, and if they did, we probably would have seen a more aggressive response out of SKillous. We probably would have seen him be more aggressive, more assertive, and try to punish that third base in some way. So sure, in that sense, that is where SKillous did struggle. And with that, ByuN is now going for back into an economic opener. Okay, racks expand. Forced to throw it down off center, but does go for the CC regardless. So economic opener here out of ByuN, standard opener out of SKillous. We can settle in. Unlike the previous game, there's not going to be any early commitment into those Cyclones, into that early aggression. As we switch it up here on Ultra Love. Do switch it up. And we'll see how our players will shake things up here. Coming into Ultra Love, I would not want to see a Stargate. Actually, I was going to say I wouldn't want to see a Stargate opener, but SKillous, he did already see the economic build, so he knows that he would be a little bit safer. Regardless, it is going to be a Twilight Counter opener out of SKillous, playing a little bit safer instead. So much more standard, much more of a safer response here by SKillous. Getting into his Twilight Council. The initial SCV goes down, not bad. Delays the CC. Just jeez, it's 1 second away from finishing. Oh my god. Can delay it again? Not quite. Not quite. CC does complete, but that was a very cheeky move out of SKillous. He does shade into the main. And he barely does get one. Barely not. Barely doesn't get one more SCV. Whew. Is cleaned up. Likewise, Center Depth has arrived. Denying mining time. Almost getting a worker. ByuN will maintain his natural. He forces back the Adept. And SKillous back at home. The question becomes, how many gateways? Do we go 2 gate blink, 3 gate, or 4 gate blink Stalker? How aggressive are we going to be? Now we have our second gate on the way. SKillous takes his third. Just getting to his third. Working towards Blink. Still staying on a 2-gate setup here, so very greedy build here by SKillous. We did mention earlier we were curious as to how many gateways would be thrown down. 2-gate Blink into a third base. So SKillous is cutting corners, is being greedy. Again, recognizing the opener of ByuN, this does make sense. As he recognizes ByuN going for an economic start, so does SKillous. Likewise, nice kiting. Meanwhile, Hellions, they bust into the mid line. Probe's going to be going down. Oh my god. Yeah, boys are being pulled in. 9 workers falling. Very nice damage here by ByuN. And they can 2 shots. Ooh, and they're lining up. Workers are lining up. They're getting roasted. 14 probe kills. That's basically a Mineral. Mineral has gone down. Brutal damage. Alas, SKillous, he gets punished for being greedy. Remember, did go for a 2-gate setup. And with that SKillous, he needs to counterattack. Back at home, what do we have? We have 1 tank on the low ground. No tank in the main. True, there is an opening here. Oh. There's an opening in the main. But that natural is going to be secure. Does he go for the dive? Yeah, no shot. Not able to. Gets a couple of ACVs. Gets 3. Does pull away. Observer does get vision of the main. SKillous, he rotates. Oh, the Observer gets caught. Ay, ay, ay. Observer gets caught out. No high ground vision. And with that, no blink. No blink into the main base. ByuN, he defends. He defends. He's now secure. And ByuN takes the lead. Now, what I will say is that, thankfully for SKillous, he did go for a fast third, so he can make 3 workers at a time. He can replenish some of those workers, but this should have given him an economic lead, not be used to recover from an economic loss. So SKillous is still in a rough position, making 3 probes at a time. And SKillous, he needs something to go his way. Gets a depot. Second Observer has arrived. He can try to dive into the main base and try to bypass the main army. But now there's 3 tanks here set up. Oh. As SKillous, he's once again responding here with +1 charge and a gateway explosion. Now, what SKillous is going to be relying upon here is ByuN maybe overextending, likewise creating an opening, and SKillous being allowed into a mineral line. Whether it's a natural, whether it's a main base, run-bys always have potential. But SKillous is going to be quite reliant here on a mistake or a misstep from ByuN, as ByuN will soon move out once Stim finishes. So right now we're waiting for Stim, waiting for combat shields. And ByuN does have a terrifying army. Alas, SKillous, he's not set up for a counterattack. I mean, he's just now finishing up his gateways. Just now finishing up charge. Prism's on the way. ByuN breaks out. SKillous, he confirms a 3rd CC. He knows that this is not a 2-base all-in, but it's still massive. Let's go. SKillous, hey, gets a medevac, not bad. Takes down the medevac, getting ready for that counterattack, but it might just be too late. Trying to warp in some zealots, and ByuN's not going to turn around. Ooh. Yeah, massive missile goes off. The flanking Raven. Let's go. The Raven pops up. ByuN sims in. And SKillous, he cannot fight this head on. The tanks, they siege up. And ByuN is snowballing out of control. He shuts down the Zealots, shuts down the Stalkers. Jump across the map. We'll get some SCVs, but ByuN, he will not be stopped here. He will break down the 3rd. And SKillous, he cannot keep up with this army. Not after those early game losses. Again, SKillous, he was hoping to force ByuN to turn back around, but too little too late. And the Nexus is going to fall. Colossus from behind. Oh, the Colossus! Oh my god, Colossus goes down. Again, the tanks, they annihilate the Colossus. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, that early game damage was brutal. It does take a while for something like that to really be prominent and really be shown in the game itself, but the reason why ByuN was able to snowball out control with such a large army is because last SKillous he had to focus on reprobing, on resaturating, on replenishing 14 dead workers, which was insane. As you mentioned, the one chance, the one hope for SKillous was to try to distract ByuN, to try to force him back home with the Zealot run-by, with the Zealot counterattack, but it was too late. ByuN, he didn't care. Sure, Zealots were getting some damage, but ByuN, he just committed. He knew that he had the momentum, he had the opportunity, end the game. Did end the game then and there. And with that, that leads us into the ace match. Leads us all the way to game 5, and this is all we ever want to do between these two players, going all the way to that final game, and we'll see how this story ends. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have our red Protoss player. We have a red Protoss representing Team Liquid. He was up 2-0. He was up 2-0, now being forced to the ace match. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. We go. So I'm going to be settling in. Leylines kind of middle of the road when it comes to the size of the map itself. And we'll see how our players do open up. Again, ByuN has been mixing it up when it comes to his more aggressive and economic openers. SKillous, he has been trying to respond to ByuN. Go. Can a missile result in negative armor? I don't believe so. I don't believe it can bring you down to negative. That'd be crazy. I could be mistaken. I'm just making that assumption. Not fully aware. Oh, actually, never mind. I assumed it wouldn't. At least according to Wikipedia, it looks like it does. Oh, there you go. There you go. Does actually reduce the negative armor. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. There you go. Get a solid missile there out of ByuN. Oh, now we all know together. Entire missile means every shot does +3 damage regardless of the enemy's armor. There you go. There you go. As we've already seen this opener once before here by ByuN. If I remember, it was on Frostline. We're going to be opening up Marauder. Now again, the purpose of this opener is to catch out the first initial unit. Speaking of, Zealot moves out. Not the initial Adept though, and this is going to be able to scatter ahead of time. SKillous, the goal here is to delay the CC. The Marauder's goal is to punish that Adept. Marauder is revealed, and with that, SKillous should not shade into the base. So I'm going to distract though. Does attempt to distract. SKillous, he has to be careful. Shades forward, gets eyes on the setup. Is denied access to the main, and will cancel. So far, so good. Now from here, ByuN, he can try to make use of these Marauders and push out early on ahead of time, but this Adept is going to keep them pinned back at home, because if he moves out, then the middle line is exposed. So nice setup here. Meanwhile, this is leading into a 2-on-1. Again, this is the same build that we saw on Frostline, and we'll see if SKillous can recognize that. Now what this means here, as this is leading to a stim timing. Tech Lab on the second racks, into stim, into an eventual move out. So until then, SKillous knows he can be greedy. He knows he can probe up, he can take a third base. So far we have a 2-gate opener with Blink, and we'll see if SKillous does take the third expansion. Quest pushing forward, boys being pulled for a moment. Marauders, they hold their own. Trading well against the Zealots. Oh, catching out the Adept. Goes down. Nice little pickles here by ByuN. And as we did mention, because SKillous is aware of the 2-1-1, third CC. Sorry, third Nexus here. So once again, just like the previous game, it's going to be 2-gate Blink into a third. Very greedy build here by SKillous. Now this tells me that SKillous' main army is going to be smaller, but all he has to do is be ready in time for the stim timing. And remember, stim, it just now began. It just began. Which is why you can cut corners like this. You can be greedy knowing that you're safe until this comes into high gear. Go. As ByuN is moving out with his drop. 3 Widow Mines. We'll see what he can get done. Stim is still a ways away. There's a reactor on the starports for medevac production. And SKillous from here should soon be getting to his gateway explosion. We got the Forge on the way, charge, it's Blink into charge into +1. Gateways now being thrown down. And SKillous, he is soon getting ready for this. Observer did confirm. He knows. So now he's 100% certain. Before this Observer, he was just making the assumption that it was the same build and same setup after the Marauder. But now he has confirmation. And here come those gateways. Yep. There we go. Getting up to a 7-gate setup. 3 gases into charge. Does spot the medevac. And it is going to be a double-pronged attack here. So ByuN is going to go for a stim timing towards the forward bases. And what am I dropping to the main? SKillous, he's aware of both. He's aware. Likewise, shield battery not ready yet. Yeah, shield battery's not done. We have some force fields trying to slow down the army. Wouldn't mind dropping to the main base. SKillous, he does respond. Whew, does pull away in time. So far, he's barely holding on. Force field working against him. Now we can focus. Now we can focus on this main push. Immortal arrives just in time. And with that SKillous, he is holding on. We have the Warden of Zealots. And only 2 probes go down so far. Whew, does hold. Another Widow Mine coming in. Alas, is going to be cleaned up. And with that, I do prefer SKillous' position. Unlike the previous game where SKillous, he was fighting to recover economically, here he maintains a greater economy. Got away with a fast third, got away with saturation. From here, SKillous can now take a 4th base, building up those Zealots. ByuN, he hit that timing. The timing did not do enough damage. And now the pressure is on ByuN. Oh no! ByuN is deflected. SKillous now taking up in towards Colossus. Getting his 4th base. Maintaining that lead. Now ByuN isn't out of this, but there's a lot of pressure on ByuN to be active. To get worker damage, to deny the 4th base. So ByuN is moving out. Behind this is 3rd CC, soon to be on location. Zealots, they do hit the 3rd base, and they're going to hit it just in time to deny the mining. To deny the expansion. Likewise, ByuN stimming forward, getting into the base. Can he force a cancel? Yeah, he can. He can, he will. Ooh, that was a kill! That was a kill, not a cancel. A lot more losses there for SKillous. At the same time, across the map, he does deny mining. A couple of SCVs are going down, just the one. ByuN is pushing forward. He's pushing forward. He has momentum. Decent force fields. He's throwing away some of the Marauders. Mine shots going up. Ace sims in. He takes out the Stalkers. Where those Zealots? Where those reinforcements? Colossus just in time. Kite's back is going to go down. Boys are being pulled. And SKillous is being broken. It's being broken here now. Just barely forced to pick up. Oh! Takes on some of the medevacs. Zealots across the map, 9 SCV kills, not bad. I was wondering where the reinforcements were. Looks like SKillous did go for an aggressive warping across the map. Got some SCVs. Oh. Cleans up the army. And SKillous, he is pressured. I mean, hey, he lost the 4th base. He has to warp in. I'm not sure he can do much to this army. Yeah, there's just too much bio. Too much bio here. SKillous, he backs off. Retakes the 4th. Back into Colossus. And despite SKillous having momentum early on, here we have to give it to ByuN. It is maintaining the economy. Breaks out. Forces back SKillous. Back at home, he deflects the Zealot drop. So I'll say get 3 SCVs up, just like getting a 4th. 4 SCV kills. So I'll take it to the mineral line. They get a couple of SCVs. ByuN does turn back around. Races back home, hunts down the Warp Prism. Now we can rest easy, getting a 4th CC. ByuN does maintain that supply lead. Again, a lot of that because he was able to kill the 4th. It's just now getting back up and running. The SKillous needs more time. He needs more time to benefit from it. Just now rotating. He's up to 2 Colossus. Barely any Zealots. Brutally MP. Again, we need those charge lots. Speaking of, they're across the map instead. Getting into the mineral line. Risky play here by SKillous. Brutally MPs. MPs do pop off. Nice target firing here on the Vikings. Does get both. Vikings go down. The 3 Colossus, they reign supreme. And across the map, 14 SCV. Oh my god. Across the map, that was 4 Zealots, by the way. Oh, brutal mine shots. But he gets 14 SCV kills. Very nice damage. That should not have happened. It was a risky move there for SKillous to move out with those Zealots, but it was worth it. Was worth it in the end, and this is what he was looking for. This is what he needed. SKillous, he's clawing his way back into this game. He does take an economic lead. ByuN still has a larger army. But SKillous is still in this. You know, ByuN getting his starports, getting into additional Viking production. He's got 2 so far. As disruptors have arrived. Building up to disruptors. 2nd robo is now done. SKillous now has a comparable army. Still has to rely quite heavily on those Novas. SKillous, he rotates. Up! Nova goes off. Does crazy army. No major connection. Search Nova. There's 2 more left. Down to 1. At the same time, while we're distracted, Zelda hit the natural, but alas, this time ByuN is ready. This time ByuN is in position. He's kiting back. Does kite back. SKillous hitting behind the mineral line, not bad. Does eviscerate the economy. 5 SCV kills. Denying mining time. And both players are about to max. Both players are maxing out. Still have potential up to how many disruptors? 6? 6 disruptors. SKillous moving in. Wants to make sure he doesn't get flanked. There he goes off. Once again, raising the army. SKillous, he rotates. One of the big mistakes you can make here that we've seen time and time again is pushing up this ramp because you can't get surrounded. So SKillous, he has to rotate instead. Heads toward the south side. Mine shots going up. SKillous, he doesn't find an opening. Army's new posture. You have a Dark Shrine on the way as well. Getting to DTs. Likewise, the ghost count is still quite low. Only 4 ghosts. Just the 4. Better pickoffs there for ByuN. Sorry, for SKillous. Catch out, what, 4 Marauders. And the armies, they pass by each other. ByuN going for a counterattack. SKillous, he can recall. And it's close enough to rotate. Gascazer goes down. Boost round 2. Nova's going up. Up! Ooh, massive connections! Novas do connect. ByuN going for the expansion, does kill the base. Nexus does go down. But he cannot fight this army head on. Has to kite back. Attempts to surround. And 14 probes do fall. Nice damage. Has that 3 disruptors as well. SKillous does fall behind. He does fall behind the supply. Does fall. Once again takes down the ghost. Ghosts are falling. Vikings are popping off. There's 2 Colossus left. Up. Now there's 1 Viking. And Vikings are going down with the reinforcement skills. He's barely holding on. Connects with the Novas. Shuts down the main army. ByuN falls back. SKillous has momentum. He's moving in. Let's pull away. He's got 1 disruptor. Let's go. He's just got the 1. Has to make it count. Again, there's still no Vikings. Never goes up. Ooh, doesn't connect. Disruptor does fall. But the Colossus, they will deny the upgrades. +3 going to be denied as well. A massive pickup. The eBay. Denying +3. Still reinforcing, warping in 7 cells at a time. And tonight +2 ship weapons as well. And now that SKillous has disruptors, he can move in. He has pushing power. ByuN's up against the wall, being denied an expansion. SKillous does maintain that supply. SKillous going for top left. Sorry, ByuN even. ByuN takes top left. Still maintaining himself. More disruptors on the way. And ByuN just can't build up that Viking count, not anymore. He cannot fight this. Oh, speaking of, there we go. I spoke too soon. ByuN is making 4 Vikings at a time. So it's deny mining. ByuN comes out too soon. 12 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Short side Nova. Ooh, does get a ghost. Ghost goes down. Another 14 SCVs falling. Catching out the Vikings. Miscontrol there by ByuN. He rallies in. These have just been better trades for skills over the past couple of minutes. Rotating back over. Ooh. Doesn't avoid the shot. Jumps him in. Gets a disruptor. Let's pick up there by ByuN. SKillous is going to be the first to max. And SKillous has to make use of that army. Here rotates over. Oh! Vikings, they can punish. Let's get the prism. Now up to 7 Vikings. A decent Viking count. So let's avoid their stalkers. Speaking of, Colossus is going to be going down. Finally, one does fall. He gets 1, he gets both. Now as they pop off, they do connect. Massive connections. And ByuN sims in. He breaks through. Breaks through the disruptors, chasing down the stalkers. SKillous has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. More disruptors in production. SKillous needs to buy time for a warp in. Warping does finish. He's got his zealots. Charge are ready. Now he can take a fight. EMPs on the stalkers, not on the zealots. And Zealots a tank, they buy time, and Marauders are going down. These are expensive losses here for ByuN. More Zealots coming in. ByuN somewhat trading. Nice blinks here by SKillous. Shuts down the Medivacs. GG gets called. ByuN gets surrounded. And SKillous will take the series at 3-2, advancing on and knocking ByuN out of the tournament. GG. GG, well played. A very, very intense series. SKillous, he almost 3-0'd ByuN. SKillous had a massive lead ahead 2-0. ByuN did claw his way back in. He was able to win 2 games in a row, and here we were able to embrace a proper back and forth late game as well. It was quite intense. Definitely both players had their moments. ByuN killed the 4th base early on. SKillous killed the mineral line. Both players did max out, but last SKillous, he was able to take a better fight in the end. He was able to gain map control, able to gain momentum. If you recall, I'm referring to the moment when ByuN did push towards the right hand side, where he got almost surrounded. Essentially, he lost all of his Vikings, and it was 2 Colossus. It was only 2 Colossus, but for so long they were the backbone of SKillous' army. Viking count was reset, and ByuN, he was just bullied all the way back home. That was the moment where he lost the 3rd. He lost the 3rd base. He was being stifled economically, and SKillous maintained himself. Despite that, still very close. Still very back and forth. GG. GG, well played. SKillous does advance on. Oh, sorry, I did have the wrong score on screen. There we go. SKillous does advance on. SKillous will eliminate ByuN. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god.